When people think of outdoor camping, they usually have in mind a happy sunny weekend with plenty of fun. But for 5 friends, one weekend was the one they will never forget. Michael is a nature lover with a passion for wild destinations.
Since I was a child, my father always told me about these places around mountains, and I always wanted to go there.
So Michael's next destination became the remote place near Pine Hill, about 25 kilometers away from the nearest town.
We planned this trip for a long time and it was supposed to be the perfect trip.
We went camping many times before, but this time we wanted to go as far as we could from civilization. That's why we chose Pine Hill.
They intend to spend 5 days in that area, exploring the wild, taking photographs and simply having fun. But nature has something else in store for them.
We have been hiking for 5 hours, trying to find the perfect place to set our camp.
And as we hiked on, we stumbled upon a well. At that time we didn't even think that we'd ever need to go back to it.
After an exhausting hike, they found the perfect place for setting their camp. 3 days have passed, and now they will soon discover the thing that will change their entire camping trip.
After 3 days we realized we were running really low on fresh water.
Hey, do we have any water left?
I do remember that by this time I wanted to drink some water, but I soon discovered that all the canisters and bottles were empty.
In most situations, running out of water is not a big deal, but in the middle of the wilderness, it can make the difference between life and death. So Jack decided they had to reach the well they spotted 3 days before.
It was a long shot. We didn't know the exact location of the well, we didn't have any landmarks towards it, but we knew that we have to find it.
To reach the well, they had to walk about 14 kilometers through open plains and thick woods. This was dangerous, especially because that specific area was teeming with wild, dangerous creatures. Joining Jack in this not-so-ordinary hike is Michael. The 2 friends have prepared a backpack and all the canisters they had.
It was a beautiful day. The sun was up and shining, and we thought it was going to be just a usual walk. Ironically, we started talking about what would you do in a survival situation. But then we started joking and laughing about all sorts of things.
As they advanced, the hike was nothing but usual. The terrain didn't pose any real difficulties. Thus, their mission to find water was going as planned.
After a while it was getting really hot. I had to stop to take off my sweater and Mike just started taking pictures.
By now, Jack and Michael walked for hours into the hot sun, covering a lot of ground. But soon their efforts will be rewarded.
3 miles. And as we walked, Jack halted me for a second, and as I looked up on the hill, I saw in the distance the well that we passed by 3 days ago.
It was such a relief to see that water over there. We were very thirsty and we knew that from now on we were gonna have water for the rest of the camping trip.
The 2 friends climbed the hill that stood between them and their thirst and finally reached the well.
Finally here. Yeah. I was really glad that we finally got there and that there was water in that well.
Jack and Michael found the fresh water, and now they are about to head back to the camp. The first part of the journey ended, but it is nothing compared to what they'll have to go through on their way back.
Wake up, man!